Hey friends, today we're back to working on the Corvette. It's not gonna be a how-to video, more of just a documenting what I'm doing type video.
Audio Jungle.
And what we're doing today is we're gonna be pulling off the exhaust manifolds and possibly the heads today. So I'm gonna move some stuff out of the way. I've already started removing the air recirculating tubes and stuff. I'm gonna get rid of that system altogether, so I'm gonna pull all that out anyway. And then I'm gonna move like this ASR stuff out of the way so I can get down to the bolts on those manifolds a little bit easier. And once you get this ASR box out of the way and kind of the air tube out of the way, you get easier access to like your spark plugs and stuff down there. So I'm gonna pull the spark plugs out and then unbolt those manifolds, pull that out of there really quick. Something else I did to make this a little bit easier, I took off the spark plug wire brackets that mount to the side of the head there. I'm not sure if I'll reuse those or not, these guys right here, because I'm gonna do, I don't know what I'm gonna do, something different with those wires because the things I had for mine were all broken, plus I got thicker wires. I did get some like aluminum wire separator things that I'm going to be using on them when I reassemble, but we'll see what happens there. But removing those again, much easier access to the spark plugs down along the heads right there. So I'm gonna finish pulling those out, then I'm gonna unbolt the header right here. I've already got the exhaust removed, as you guys saw in previous videos, and I'll be able to pull that header right out of here, or the exhaust manifold, whatever. Some of you guys may know, I recently changed careers. I've left retail. I was doing retail for a long time. And one of the reasons is giving me better work-life balance. Give me more time to work on my cars, spend time with my family, play video games, things like that. And if you're a video gamer, be sure to check out my Twitch channel or my YouTube gaming channel. I'll link those down below for you. You obviously don't have to pull all this apart to remove an engine. You could pull it just like this. You could pull it with the intake attached. Heck, you could probably pull it with most of the front accessories attached still. But since I'm gonna tear this thing down anyway, I'm just gonna pull it apart. So when I remove it, I'm literally just pulling a block out of the car. Pretty simple that way. I've got all the bolts out of the exhaust manifold. And now, because I've got it all disconnected, I can literally just pull it up and out, just like that, on this side of the car. And I'm gonna put all the studs back in the bolt holes here, so I just remember exactly where they went when I go to put new headers in the car. I don't know if I'll use these bolts, probably, because I'll have to mount the alternator and AC pump and all that stuff. But here's the old exhaust manifold off. Now, I can see this motor mount down here that was giving me some issues. There's this insulation on there. You can see it's burned up on this backside here. Pretty bad from where I had an exhaust leak. So I am gonna be replacing these. And something that sucks about having an old car like this is actually part of the wire harness for the wiper motor right here. That I believe it's the part that holds this weather pack assembly in. When I unplug this, I'll look, it came off the bottom side, but there were clips on the side of this that held it onto that, and that thing is just disintegrating. So that'll just be another thing I have to fix while I'm in here. And now that the exhaust manifold's out of the way, you can see these head bolts here. So now I can get to the head bolts there. I'm gonna pull off this valve cover gasket, and I'll be able to get to the bolts there and the bolts here. I can unbolt it, I can pull the whole head assembly off at this time. Like I said, once that valve cover's out of the way, now we can see the rest of the head bolts in here. We're gonna go ahead and take off the rocker arms here and stuff, and we'll remove the push rods and everything. We're doing a complete tear down anyway, so to make it easier to get to all these bolts and stuff, I'm just gonna remove all of that stuff now. And for those of you that maybe are just doing some service, this here is like an Allen wrench, Torx wrench type head on the very tip. I don't know if you can see that, but you can remove just these tubes that the valve covers bolt to, so you could just get to those bolts if you needed to. For anyone that's out there wondering, it is a 1/4 inch hex bolt size right there. So I can just use my ratchet now, pull those off. It's really straightforward, really simple. Like I said, some of you guys are gonna be just doing this, and that's exactly how you do it right there. And now you just finish unthreading this thing. And now you can get to that head bolt right there. So that's how you would remove these valve cover mounts from the head on this LT1. And just like with my exhaust manifold bolts, intake manifold bolts, stuff like that, as I remove this stuff, I am going to keep it in the same order that I'm pulling it off. And then when I get the head off, I'll just lay it kind of in place in the order that I take it off. So if I end up using this stuff again, which I don't know if I will or not, I may end up updating to different rocker arm setup. But if I do, it'll be on the exact same location that it was on this head already. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this isn't a how-to video. This is just me documenting my progress. So there's gonna be steps that I don't show on video. I just kind of skip, and I'm gonna make the assumption you might know what to do. And if not, and you're doing this, feel free to ask. I do have the FSM, the factory service manuals for these, that'll walk me through this entire process, and I don't have to use YouTube videos or Google search it, but you can do it and find all the answers you need for most of this stuff. So now I've gone through and I've loosened all these rocker nuts off of here. I can take them all off. I can pull those off out of the way. I'm gonna leave the actual spring assembly and everything in here for the valves right now. I'll pull all that out before I go to the machine shop with the heads, or maybe I'll just have the machine shop do that when they install the springs and retainers and all that stuff for me anyway. So we'll see what happens, who knows. But for now, just gonna finish pulling these off, get the rockers out of the way, the rocker arms out of the way, and get ready to unbolt the head. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe down below, follow along my progress on this and all the other random things that I do. And with rocker arms out of the way, now I can pull the push rods out. Again, just gonna keep them laid out in the order I'm removing them. So if I reassemble using this stuff, I know what order it was in. Once the head is unbolted, there is one more bolt you're gonna have to pull off. There's this tube that goes under this oil pressure unit thing, and it connects one head to the other, and it's kind of difficult to get into back there. And I'm not sure what size it is yet, maybe like a 9/16 or something, but we gotta unbolt that on the head before we pull this head out. Okay, so that pipe back there is part of the coolant system. It's a coolant, air, crossover, something. And that's a banjo bolt that's on there. Well, mine is stripped, so I don't know if someone's had this off before and stripped it. So I'm gonna have to use like an extractor socket. Hopefully I can get a ratchet back in there. There's not a ton of room. I might have to pull off the wiper motor right there. We'll see. Super tight fit there. I do have a vice grip kit here, or Irwin kit, I guess. These bolt extractor tools that I'm gonna be using. It's a really tight fit back there. I'm getting super frustrated, so I'm gonna take a break and come back to this a little bit later. For you guys, it'll be just a couple seconds. For me, it might be an entire day. We'll see. Been doing a little bit of research on this thing, and it looks like people actually delete this thing out of there. They will cut this pipe out because it is such a pain in the butt, and then just plug the holes. I might do that. I mean, people do it. It doesn't seem to affect anything other than it just allows the coolant to go back and forth, makes it easier to bleed the system, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'm gonna come back to it. That's the line back there. It runs from that head to this head, and then the line goes around and connects to the coolant system on the passenger side of the vehicle. Okay, so this tube on the back of the heads, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it off. I'm gonna probably cut it off. I did find one I can order. It's like $100. But before we do that, I have to stop and do something. Someone informed me of something super important that I need to address. Thank you for letting me know, but apparently having a dirty windshield will make it so I don't get subscribers. So I need to stop everything right now and fix that. I mean, that windshield is pretty dirty. It's pretty gross looking, but like I said, it was pointed out to me that having a clean windshield will result in more of you subscribing to my channel, so we're gonna get on that. All right, I'm gonna see what I've got for cleaner. I was told a premium glass cleaner. I don't know if I have a premium glass cleaner, guys. I've got some wheel and tire cleaner, aluminum wheel cleaner, some that's got ammonia in it. That front windshield isn't tinted, so that'd probably be okay if I have to use it. Some tire wet. Oh, I don't know. There's some buffing supplies, some applicator pads. Oh man, I might have to use cheap window cleaner. Now I suspect once I start spraying this on there, I'm gonna see subscription numbers drastically increase. Because that's what I was told. Well, not necessarily told that, but that's what I'm hoping for. So here we go. Get ready, guys. We're going to watch something exciting unfold. Get ready. Oh, subscribers. Oh, more subscribers. Come on, subscribers. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. I have to admit, it does look a lot better. All right, so like I said, I'm gonna probably end up cutting that tube. I can find the replacement. It's like $100, but that banjo bolt right there, I don't know if you can see, it's stripped pretty good, and there's not a lot of room for me to get my socket in there, my extraction socket. So I might just cut that pipe, pull it off, and then disassemble it once I get the head off. I'll also point out, if someone was just pulling this out the normal way, leaving the heads assembled and the intake assembled and just pulling the engine out, this wouldn't be an issue you would probably run into either. And Mr. Pip is out here, so you guys know what that means. It means it's break time, but I did get that head off right there behind Mr. Pip. He's checking it out, making sure everything looks good on it for me. We got the head off so we can see the head gasket, and honestly, the head gasket looks like it's in pretty decent shape. I don't know that it was actually leaking or anything, so the head gasket on the driver's side looks like that wasn't the reason for the car running poorly. So now we're gonna run over to the other side there, disassemble that head and get that one pulled off as well. The head gaskets definitely needed replaced on this thing, though. You can see right there, that thing is kind of like ripped and tore up there. Now, the car does have 100,000 miles on it. I don't think that was probably a contributing factor to the vehicle not running correctly, because it looks like the gasket was still good up to this. Well, maybe. It's possible it was leaking some water into the cylinder there. You know, the top of the pistons don't look too weird. There's carbon buildup, which is normal. There's some coolant in there from when I removed the head. That's normal. So again, it's possible the head right on this side, that first cylinder there where this was maybe losing some compression, and possibly part of the reason it ran poorly. And honestly, right there was a water jacket that kind of ran through there. Those are just the bolt holes. So really, water down there, it was probably okay. That probably wasn't a big contributing factor to the car running poorly, but you can see head gaskets definitely needed replaced on this thing. And people might be interested in seeing what the valves look like. They look pretty normal, nothing really unusual there as far as weird discoloration or anything. Again, that's where that head gasket was kind of cracked and tore up there. So again, maybe losing a little bit of pressure through there in the combustion chamber, but nothing too unusual there. If you're wondering, someone did make a comment about my windshield being dirty, so I decided to clean it as part of I don't know, making the video funny, I guess. And so Pip was out, so it's definitely time for a quick drink here before I head over there and pull the other side off. And then when I jump back on, I'll have the other head removed to show you guys what that head gasket over there looked like. And the head is off now on the passenger side. Same kind of thing here. It's definitely in need of replacement, but I don't see like anywhere where the gasket's actually like ruined or shot enough that it was probably causing the issue I was having. So that's gonna lead to the next thing, which is going to be checking the timing once we get the block out of here, because I do have to pull this guy off in order to pull the cover off, and I think I'm gonna have to use a puller on that. So the next part of this step is gonna actually be to unbolt the transmission from the block and disconnect the clutch and the flywheel and all that fun stuff and get ready to pull the block out. So that's where I'm at right now. Got the intake pulled off, heads pulled off. Next thing I'm gonna do is disconnect the transmission back there. I've got the exhaust pulled all the way off. I did notice a couple things, and again, I don't know if this is part of the issue I'm having or not, but some things I will be addressing when I get all this out of here. Some of these plugs are just so old and brittle. They're like broken. There's bare wires showing right there, stuff like that. And then this plug here, actually, this is the temperature sensor that's on the engine block, is actually broken. So that could potentially be leading to some of the issues I'm having. So I will be fixing all of those pigtails and wire harness issues as I go forward with this project. And then just like with the other head, looks pretty normal. as far as the exhaust and the intake valves are concerned there. That is that coolant pipe that was on the back. So this side's not stripped, the other banjo bolt was. You can get this whole pipe. It was less than $100 online. I can order replacement banjo bolts for this for like a couple dollars a piece. And this is where we're gonna wrap up this video for now. Like I said, we got the heads pulled off, the intakes pulled off, all the accessories are pulled off. We're ready to go on to the next step, which is gonna be disconnecting that transmission and then pulling this block out of here. Be sure to watch for that video coming in the next couple weeks or so. Until next time.